Welcome to the Divinely Driven Results Show. My name is Ely Smith, Christian business strategist, and we get to empower Christian women entrepreneurs just like you to reach those sales goals that God has put on their heart by utilizing biblical business strategy and partnering with God. And we get to have incredible guests just like ours today to be able to help you to learn how to do so as well. Now, the question I have for you when it comes to marketing is, do you ever feel invisible in the marketplace, even though you've spent hours and hours and hours marketing? Like you are just giving your whole soul and you still feel like no one knows you. Have you ever felt like you're working harder than you should have to get those results that are less than you'd like to have, right? Or have you felt like you're attracting new prospects that just can't seem to convert to a client? We've all been there, my sister. It is something that we kind of go through with this whole marketing experience, is that we're not great at it at first, but as we gain amazing tips from experts just like our guest today, you will find that you can really attract that divine client that you're looking for. And the greatest thing about it is you can do it through Jesus's example. So I'm excited to introduce you guys to my incredible guest today. Her name is Lethia Owens, and she is a personal branding and digital marketing expert. So Lethia, thank you so much for being here today. Tell us a little bit more about who you are and what you do.
Oh, Elise, thank you so much for an opportunity to share with your audience. I just love helping people basically discover and then share and promote their authentic selves, right? Who God created them to be. I want, and I do a lot of work in the faith-based arena with women. So I love seeing women really figure out and get crystal clear, who God has called them to be and the value that he's placed inside of them, because no one will ever pay you more than you think you are worth. And I have basically for the last 20 years been in the business building space. I come from a background in technology, so I am a geek. I have a computer science undergraduate degree, a master's in leadership, 2 honorary doctorates in divinity, and I'm working on my Christian entrepreneurship doctorate. So really busy and really excited about what God has in store for me. So that's really what I'm up to in the world. And I can't wait to share some of these strategies with your audience.
Oh, wow. You are just amazing. You can just tell the love and the excitement and the passion that you have for what you do and for the people who are listening to this. So I'm just honored to have you here today. Thank you.
Oh, it's my pleasure.
Awesome. So, I always have the guests choose the topic that fits within our 7 pillars. So talk to me about what it is that made this topic stand out to you today.
I think that there's nothing like the name and power of Jesus. And when I work with women, Christian women who are wanting to step into the realm of being a business owner or who are business owners, one of the things that I unfortunately see consistently, at least, is that women do not understand their value. They market in a way that doesn't say that they have the confidence that I want them to have as they operate and move in this world. And so I chose a topic, that I think that specifically women, men and women can benefit, but specifically women really need to hear right now. So that's why I was moved to share this particular topic versus talking about TikTok or some other marketing kinds of strategies.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love what you said in the beginning. Can you say that value statement one more time about, we'll never get paid as much as our value? Say that one more time.
Yeah, I said, you'll never get paid more. No one will ever pay you more than you think you are worth, right? So, you're not going to go to someone and let's say your value really is, I'm just going to say $10,000. You're not going to go to someone and you only believe you're worth $5,000 and say, very seldom, this has happened a couple of times to me or a client, very, very rare, but it typically doesn't happen that you say, hey, my fee is $5,000. And they say, no, I'm going to pay you $8,000, right? That usually doesn't happen. That's only happened to me when I had a mentor who needed my services and they refused to let me charge them so little, right? So yeah, that it's important for us to understand our value.
Absolutely. So, talk to us about how you help your clients find their value, because I think so many women, just like you said earlier, so many women really struggle with this concept of charging, let alone charging their actual value.
Absolutely. So I do it in two ways. The first thing I do is I help them to develop the mind of Christ. So here's the deal. If God called you to do this work, and if he has an expectation that you will become a master at the gift, that it's a gift, a gifting, right? And our gifts become our strengths when we take a gift that's raw in form and we work at it and we develop it and we cultivate it and we spend time being mentored and we study and we read books and we take courses. So that gifting becomes a strength. And God, if he called us to do this work in the marketplace, some people are called to ministry within the four walls of the church or within, the community of the church. And some people are called to the marketplace ministry. Our ministry is no less important because while people on this side may be winning souls, we're generating revenue that can be used to fund the mission of winning souls. And so I find it hard to believe that God would want us to charge pennies for what has the value of $1. And so I think the first thing is helping them understand the mind of Christ, that they've been given a gift that only they can do, even though we have the same title or same skill set. We each have a gift that's unique to our calling, and no one can serve my clients the way that I can serve my clients. So here's a little something that I think your audience will love. Your clients have been predestined to work with you before the foundation of the world was ever even formed. They are your clients. So there's nothing anyone can do to take them away from you. So you don't have to price out of fear. You don't have to operate out of fear. They won't want to work with me. Your clients are vibrating. Like when they meet you, they're like, where have you been all of my life? I have been waiting on you. And I've experienced that recently with my financial advisor. I have been praying for and waiting for this woman. I didn't know if it was going to be a man or woman, but when I met her, I was like, you are my person. Right? So adopting and understanding the mind of Christ and how he saw you, how God saw you, the Father saw you when he formed you in your mother's womb. And then the second thing that I do is I have them on the practical side, count the costs. So how much have you invested in school? How much time have you invested in studying and learning and reading and being mentored and coached and all of those things? So when you add up the cost that you have paid to have the ability to provide this service, what do you think it's really worth? And then I get these looks like, so every year I do a 7-day mastermind retreat called the Game Changers Retreat in Dubai. And it's either at the end of October, early November every year. And we have a photographer who always comes and they capture everything. So my clients have pictures galore, right? And the photographer gets to sit in on the sessions. He had never charged over $500. Now, this is November. He's at the table. We're all talking to him about his value. We did both. We talked to him about the mind of Christ and we talked to him about counting the cost. He left with that training and that understanding and that knowledge. And he booked his first $3,500 photography session in December. Now, he's not a different photographer. His skill set is the same. The only thing that changed was his mindset.
And it's so powerful, right? Like, because we actually turn off our divine client when we're not charging our value, because nobody wants to pay the lowest price. No one wants to get the cheapest deal when it comes to the transformation that they're looking for, and so it's something that I've learned over the years, like, because I started at $25 a coaching session. I mean, I think we kind of all, start somewhere. Right?
No, I think your work was something you discover.
Yes, exactly. But I love how you can look at the value that you bring. And even more, even just to add to that is also, what is the result that you're going to get worth in their lives, right? Like, what is the result that you're helping them to get? What is that worth for them? Because we're not selling the mop and the broom. We're selling the clean floor. And that's right. What they're really trying to go for, right?
Absolutely. The
Yes.
transformation. Yep. That glistening, clean floor that smells great when you walk into your home, right? My kids would always say, we can tell when the cleaning lady's been here.
Yes, it's such a great feeling. And that's what our value is it's who we are as daughters of God, and the talents and the gifts and the experiences and the challenges and everything that makes us who we are. That I love how you say we're predestined. It actually says that in the scriptures. You were foreordained to walk in good works in Christ. That's your business, sisters, right?
That's right.
And then
That's
to be
right.
able to add that to, the result that you're able to get your clients. Ooh, girl, you are like probably undercharging yourself for sure. And we all, sometimes we all are, and that's okay, but we can always repent and do better, right?
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely.
So how do you
Yes.
take that value once you start to kind of piece together what your value is and start to get an understanding, and I would even challenge the audience, ask God what your value is, because he will tell you for sure what is the value of your product or your service. But once we have that value, how do we build that into our marketing?
Absolutely. So the next step is to identify your target group. Now, I know the word is very clear that, Christ came to save everyone. But that was the purpose for which he was born, right? To provide the opportunity for salvation to everyone, but Christ didn't market to everyone. And so we make that mistake sometimes, like, oh, everybody needs what I have, right? I want to reach everyone. Christ really, really, really marketed to the 12. And then he built those relationships. And then he went from that inner core to another layer of individuals. Because what he was doing is he was creating ambassadors for the brand, for the message, because he knew that physically in a physical form, human physical form, he was not going to be able to speak to every person who would ever live, or who were even living at that time. So he had a marketing strategy to package the gospel, to share it with a core group of people who would go and spread it around the world. That's why he says, go make disciples, right? So we need to really market and target the people who most need what it is that we have. Be very specific about the people we want to reach. And then when we transform their lives, they will become ambassadors and they will go out and tell the world about us. And that's what happened with me. I am ranked number 8 among the top 30 brand gurus in the world. And I'm trying to figure out, how did that happen? 22,500 people voted. Why? I mean, how do people even know me? And what it was is I was everywhere on social media. But then secondly, the people that I worked with became so vocal about what they were experiencing with me that my name was popping up in circles that I had not yet even entered into.
Beautiful.
Yeah. So identifying that your very specific audience is the next step.
Yeah. So we need to know who that divine client is and know our worth so that we can really stand in that value. And then to be able to move it into our marketing of speaking to that direct person, and then to build up that ambassadorship. What kind of tips do you have for building up an ambassadorship, just like Christ did with the 12 disciples?
The first thing is to see people. Right. So your ambassadors can be clients, and there are some people who may not need your services. I was on a call with this woman that I'm bringing on as our financial advisor, and she's not able to book me as a speaker, but she came up with like 20 different organizations that she is connected to that she can introduce me to. So people who are your clients who are happy with your services, your testimony, people who do testimonials, they can become brand ambassadors. And it's as simple as being referable. Most of us aren't referable because we don't know what we want to say to ask people to refer us. We don't have our website and our information set up to give them the tools they need to refer us. And we just don't often think to ask, right? So when we think about really empowering people to be ambassadors, it's when they have a great experience, giving them tools and resources, or just the know-how, instructions on how to share what they've experienced with others, right? And then the other thing is for people who aren't potential clients or past clients, to just, I have an email that I provide to my clients that basically is a well-crafted email. It's a template. And I say, once we're finished with your branding, send this to everyone you have an email address for, you have a fax number for, and you have a physical address for. Because a lot of people don't really know what you do until you tell them. You can't just put up a website and think they're going to know it's there. You can't put up a website and think it can explain it more passionately than you can. Yeah. So you have to tell everyone you know, and their pets if needed, what it is that you do, right? And how you transform lives, and how you would love for them to help you spread the word.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we teach in our referral program of having like a referral packet, right? Like, here's a social media thing you can share. Here's something you can share on Messenger. Here's something you can share in your email. If we make it super easy, then it becomes super easy for them to take that raving fanness that they have and turn that into an ambassador. Because you think about Christ gave everything that the disciples needed. He gave them the word, right? He gave them his word. And the exact instructions, I'm sure, on what to do and how to do it. That's how we need to do that with our ambassadors. Make it easy and people will follow, right? Beautiful.
Yeah, absolutely.
I love it.
People can follow simple instructions. When it gets really complex, a confused mind does nothing.
Yes, exactly. Oh, you have just been such a joy to have on the show here today. Thank you so much for pouring into our audience. Now, tell us, if people want to connect with you through social media or any of your other platforms, tell us how they can get to know you a little bit more.
Absolutely. The best way to connect with us is on our website or through Facebook. And this is specifically my faith-based work that I do called Women of Audacious Faith. Free community. We meet once a month on a call where we just gather. It's called the First Friday Gathering. We have a faith-based component, something faith-based that we study. We have a business strategy or tip that I share, and then we have resources. Like, I am a geek for real. Like, I just share Focus Mate as a resource on First Friday, and it's an opportunity for you to basically just say, hey, I want to focus for the next hour. I want an accountability partner. You go to the website, you sign up, and then they randomly pair you with someone else. You get on Zoom for an hour and you both hold each other accountable for getting the work done, right? It's pretty cool. But I love sharing resources like that women can use to help them grow their business and grow their faith and really become the woman that God has called them to be. So you can go and visit myaudaciousfaith.com, and that'll give you all the information you need to know about our group.
Awesome. myaudaciousfaith.com. Oh, so powerful. And I love those words too. You're just amazing. All right. And if you guys want more tips on how to grow your business in the Lord's way in all sorts of different areas of business, make sure that you are joining us in our Faithful Ladypreneurs Facebook group. That's for Christian women entrepreneurs in the service-based industries. And you can even advertise your business on Saturday's comment thread. And then if you want to take that even further and check out the programs and services that we have, make sure to go to divinelydrivenresults.com. Lethia, thank you so much for your time today. What is the last golden nugget that you feel God has placed on your heart to share with our audience? You and I are the example today, Elise. I mean, we serve the same audience, really, from the perspective of what we do, but in the secular world, they don't do that. Right? Like, Coca-Cola doesn't invite Pepsi to come and talk to its customers and then tell them, hey, come visit me at Pepsi, right? But I love that with us, there's no competition. Exactly. Because people you are called to serve, your voice sounds differently than my voice in their ears and their heart. And I want women to get this, that competition really isn't, it is a real thing in the business world, but it's not something that we should labor over and be so concerned with. If we are about our Father's business, and if we're focused on doing what He's called us to do, then He will take care of making sure that we bump into the brilliant people that we're supposed to serve. Amen. There's no competition in the kingdom, right?
Yes, I love that.
I love that. Good. Well, thank you so much again for being here. And for you guys listening or watching here today, I hope you've been able to have your heart pricked and to know what that next step is for you to take, to be able to find those divine clients who are literally praying for you, ladies. So, Lethia, thanks again. And I hope you guys all have a wonderful day and that we will see you next time on Divinely Driven Results.